Namaste for TV9 News. This is Priyanka Deo. For the past 3 months, protesters and agitators have been blocking roads and major highways on the outskirts of New Delhi, demanding the repeal of the farm laws. The protests turned into full-on riots last month during India's Republic Day. To successfully bring things under control, authorities had to tighten security at protest sites, temporarily restrict internet and phone services, and even block social media accounts that aim to incite violence. During the riots, about 300 police officers were injured, and there were also fatalities. In response to this, social media posts supporting the rioters and farm protests by international celebrities and public figures emerged, including pop star Rihanna, climate activist Greta Thunberg, and Meena Harris, who is the niece of US Vice President Kamala Harris. The tweets drew international attention to the farm protests, with the posts by and large criticizing India's internet crackdown. Now, who's correct over here, the government of India or these celebrities? Here's what you need to know. First up, the farmers' protest. A little context. Since November 26, 2020, agitators primarily from Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh have been protesting against the agricultural reforms which work to modernize agriculture in India. Under these laws, farmers will see less restrictions around the pricing, sale and storage of their agricultural produce. The bone of contention here is the APMC or Mandi structure, as well as the MSP or minimum support price, which they say will be eliminated. Protesters state that these new reforms will eventually force APMC structures, which are mandated by states, to close down, which will in turn end the MSP. This is because the laws will allow farmers to sell their produce outside of the APMCs if they choose to do so. However, both of these bones of contention have been proven untrue. Across the country, after the implementation of these farm laws, APMC markets are operating and working with farmers. In essence, the only change here is that the farm bills force APMCs to become more competitive, efficient and less corrupt. This is because the farmer can walk away from a corrupt middleman and sell independently. Furthermore, the MSP system remains untouched. At present, MSP is conducted through state agencies, and this law remains untouched after the farm laws have been implemented. In fact, contrary to what the protesters are claiming, MSP procurement is high priority for the NDA government, and the statistics prove that. The Modi government has increased the MSP on multiple occasions and has also procured more from farmers at the minimum support price than any government in the past. The second point, who is criticizing India? Celebrity social media posts like Rihanna's and Greta Thunberg's tweet, which stated that she stood in solidarity with the farmers' protest, has sparked a reaction from the Indian government. The GOI has accused these celebrities and other accounts of sensationalizing social media hashtags in an inaccurate and an irresponsible way. Now, Twitter did go ahead and block quite a few of these accounts because of this. Furthermore, a cybercrime unit is also investigating the creators of a toolkit that Greta Thunberg shared, which detailed how to support the protest. She later deleted her tweet on this. According to authorities, this toolkit was made by a Vancouver-based organization called Poetic Justice Foundation. Upon looking at their website, the organization carries a clear pro-Khalistani stance. This is where Sikh separatists aim to create an independent state in India called Khalistan, which is an unconstitutional thing as well as illegal. Now, last year, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also posted his support for the farmers' protest. It immediately received backlash from Indian officials, saying that Trudeau's tweet was ill-informed. Multiple Indian politicians and journalists suggested that Trudeau was pandering to his voter base. At present, Canada is home to approximately 700,000 Sikhs. In addition to this, the British Parliament is also likely to debate on the farmers' protest after an online petition has drawn over 106,000 signatures. Point number 3 is India justified in its actions. Now, the United States has also criticized India's internet crackdown at protest sites, saying that it violated basic citizen rights of access to information and freedom of expression. In response, India has stated that the violence at the Red Fort carried many similar sentiments and emotions as the storming of the US Capitol that took place on Jan 6. Additionally, the US is still being criticized globally for failing to uphold its own democratic values, for gagging former President Donald Trump by restricting and banning all of his social media accounts while he was still in power. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar correctly stated that farmers were being misled and that the government was committed to finding a solution. Additionally, the International Monetary Fund's chief economist Geeta Gopinath has stated, and I quote, "We do see the potential for these reforms to help farm incomes." In addition to that, Chief Economic Advisor KV Subramaniam has also said that these agricultural reform legislations will have multiple benefits for the farmers. So if these farm laws are so good, why is there still so much agitation? Now, keep in mind, the agitators are mainly from UP, Haryana and Punjab. While UP is a critical battleground state during elections, Punjab and Haryana are states where the procurement system and MSP mechanism is strong. Now, Punjab is also a state that has one of the highest land holdings per farmer compared to other states. So in this case, what frequently happens is the small and marginal farmers sell their produce to larger farmers who then deal with the traders. This guarantees the small farmer with money and livelihood. Now, according to experts, though, the MSP mechanism that states like Haryana and Punjab use is neither equitable nor adequate in providing lucrative prices to all types of farmers. Corruption also plays a really big part over here. The implementation of the farm laws means that these large farmers, landowners, and traders lose their corrupt political bargaining power, especially over these small and marginal farmers, and now have to sell and procure based on legal mandates. In simpler terms, PM Modi's agricultural reforms have blocked the corruption in APMC structures and also blocked the unchecked income and bargaining power that these brokers and landowners have enjoyed for years. It is therefore largely not the small and the marginal farmers at the protests, but these landowners, brokers, and large farmers with political and bargaining influence that are against these farm laws, because now they will lose their grip over small farmers as well as mandi structures. Now, this is because the farm laws encourage free markets as well as privatization. And it means that the protests are more of a political issue now than anything else. They're certainly not about the welfare of the Indian farmer. In a large democracy like India, the farm laws are the correct move because instead of catering to greedy agitators who want to continue their corrupt and unchecked grip on the mandi structure and over small and marginal farmers, India's 16.6 million farmers have everything to gain from these farm laws. In fact, farmers across India are happy from the reforms because they're already benefiting from the agricultural reforms. For instance, farmer producing companies from 4 districts in Maharashtra have earned approximately 10 crore rupees from trade outside the APMCs. And this was just about 3 months after the bills were passed. Which brings me to my next point. What's next? Well, there have been 11 rounds of talks between the government and protesters. PM Modi has even offered to suspend the reforms for 18 months, but agitators continue to demand that the law should be scrapped entirely. Furthermore, PM Modi has always maintained that agitation is not necessary and that his agriculture minister is just one call away. In his latest speech to Parliament, PM Modi has appealed specifically to these agitators to end the protests now. The protesters continue to block roads and create barricades for everyone. In his address, the Prime Minister assured everyone that the MSP will continue and so will the monthly ration scheme to 80 crore people. He also assured them that the government is ready to speak to farmers on the issue. Bearing all of these facts in mind, I implore you not to be misled. Just because celebrities and public figures are tweeting and posting on social media doesn't mean that they are being genuine. So until you know a celebrity's reason, genuineness, or agenda if they're commenting on a social issue, I implore you to turn to statistics and objectivity. As for the farmers' protests, we'll have to wait and watch to see what happens, but hopefully after looking at all the facts presented in this video, the agitators realize that in the world's largest democracy, which desperately needs to modernize its agricultural sector, these reforms aim to empower millions of farmers, especially the small and marginalized ones that need it most. What do you think about this issue? Please leave your comments in the section below. Also be sure to like and share this video with your friends and family. With that being said, we'll see you next time on TV9 News. Until then, this is Priyanka Deo signing off. Namaste.